we might have another Paul Chato joining our side.
Whoa!
So, yes, some of this is going to brush up against politics, but we have seen a stark change in Hollywood with the recent election and how now a lot of the people that used to be pushing for certain cultural things in all of our media, they're now changing their points of view. The most recent one that we found is actually the founder of Amazon Studio, and he is criticizing Hollywood's turn to ideology over entertainment, making customers the enemy of your industry is never viable. How long have we been saying that? Don't bite the hand that feeds, don't poop on anybody, unless you're German, I guess. But in performing a personal postmortem on Kamala Harris' failed presidential campaign, Amazon Studios founder Roy Price, so keep that name in mind, has opined that the explanation for a recent loss is the same as the one that Hollywood's ongoing cultural decline has been experiencing. They both insist on catering to an ideological bubble while alienating vast swaths of the potential audience. Yes, yes, we've been telling you this forever. There's nothing new here, but it is good to see people like I guess finally getting on board. They're finally swimming aboard the ship, and we'll save you out of the waters, brother. No worries about that, as long as it's not just lip service. So, little backstory, a little reasoning why he's speaking up about this now, because he previously served as the VP of Creative Affairs for Disney TV Animation from '93 to 2000. So, basically, all the all the TV shows that I watched growing up, like Recess, Pepper Ann, ABC's One Saturday Morning, that kind of stuff. He also founded Amazon Video and Amazon Studios in 2008 and 2010, respectively. But there was a Me Too movement against him in 2017, which kind of opened his eyes to a lot of things. Now, we're not going to go through the details on this, but what has happened is ultimately it was found to not be true and hearsay only. He even had another person in the car witness everything and say, nope, none of those allegations are true. That is not what happened whatsoever. So, in light of his firsthand experience with this kind of activism and the things that Hollywood's been doing, I mean, let's be real, it's been doing it for way longer than this. However, 2017, that's right around the time Me Too movement, they started like really getting like super hyper political and bringing back the blacklists. Now, these are his words that he brought up, and he took to a Substack blog on November the 13th of this year, which is very recently. And he said both Hollywood and Kamala were speaking to an America that exists mainly in Hollywood's HR departments, in the faculty lounge of Columbia Pictures, CNN, MSNBC, the mainstream media, and America is changing the channel on all that. I love how he thinks this is a zinger, but you know, obviously journalism is in his heart. The way that he has to phrase it that way, he could have said something way more succinct and way more like punch you in the face. But we get where he's coming from. To this end, he argued that the main flaw by both entities was their underlying contempt for the audience. Yes, if you don't agree with them, they will cancel you. But they'll give you two or three shots. Like, okay, we'll cancel you. And if that doesn't work, well, we'll just force feed this stuff down your throat and we will make you submit. We're not submitting. The audience, the paying customer, is not submitting to this bullcrap anymore. It's been on a steady decline for a long time and is now completely tanking. And what is rising up? Stuff that doesn't have this messaging in it anymore. Stuff that doesn't have the activism. We could have told you this years ago. We could have told you this almost a decade ago, but you wouldn't listen. You didn't listen. And now you think you've come across some epiphany, which is okay. That's fine. However long it takes you to get to your destination, that's how long it takes, as long as you get there. Gotta give my brother props because he actually used wokeness in quotations, both in politics and entertainment, carries with it a strong and explicit element of hostility, particularly towards white people and men. So this is why this said we might be getting a new or another version of Paul Chato on our side because he's got the experience. He's got the not only the personal but also like massive business experience and acumen, and he's been in Hollywood for a long time behind the scenes running things, and he sees all this stuff. So if he continues to call it out, hey man, start a channel. I know a lot of people would love to hear your takes and your behind the scenes stuff that you can say and bring to light for everyone. Case in point, he goes on just like it's not even rambling. It is pretty pointed, but he says, "Why did Hollywood people embrace wokeness with such fervor?" I was like, "Well, because you have to conform. You have to conform to the narrative, to the people with money. When it's all an inside scheme, if you're not on the inside, you're not going to get your point across. You're not going to get your views across. And you're not going to get work. So you kind of have to like follow the big name players. We saw this a lot with Harvey Weinstein. This is a topic that I want to be very delicate with, but a lot of young actresses thought that that was the only way, and for a time it was one of the only ways. You had to do certain favors, and everyone knew about it. They all kept it hush hush because he was the one that had the money. He was the one that made the wheels turn. Well, it's not like that anymore. Thank God we got rid of that. For now, uh, Diddy trial incoming. But to keep this more based into what the everyday consumer is actually paying attention to, knows about without getting into too much sordid details, he goes on to say Hollywood is having a difficult time, partly because it's been denying the reality of the audience, and that is 100% true. Couldn't have said it better myself for the 1500th time that we've been saying this. If you're not meeting the customer expectations, mostly because you're spitting in the face of the customer, no, they're not going to willingly go out and support you. This is capitalism. This is also just like basic human experience. You can only beat a puppy so long before that thing turns on you and goes for your neck. So the last thing that he wanted to leave everybody with was basically Hollywood should make more fun movies and pursue excellence without restraint. Yes. Oh my goodness. What is, can I add this guy to like the list of people that I made videos on who are now just now coming out, and a lot of it is because they lost. They lost the election and they are scared to death of what is coming with Elon Musk coming in, with the Doge boys, with Trump getting back in office. They are scared to death that they will be the ones that are censored while they've been trying to censor you this entire time. They are shaking in their boots, worried about like wondering if they should leave the country, and maybe they should. Who knows? That's a personal decision. It's not up for me to say. But go back to just making good stories, good films. Take all that other crap out about it, make it accessible, make it something that resonates with the audience, and the audience will show up to watch it. Because what do we want? A lot of us, especially with the gas prices, the food prices, taxes, all this other kind of stuff, adults are working multiple jobs. They are constantly stressed, constantly busy. And what do they want? They want escapism. It's that fucking simple. We want escapism. And that's what Hollywood used to do for us, but they haven't for a really long time because they've been pushing more ideological stuff into absolutely everything and pissing people off. It's like, oh, now I got to hear about this. The water cooler talk used to be about movies and TV shows that was like, did you see that? Could you believe that happened? Oh my goodness, that was so awesome. Now the water cooler talk is, what's that bitch's pronouns? I don't know. I'm not going to get called in by HR, am I? We can't even talk about this anymore. All right, so water cooler talk doesn't exist anymore. People lose friendships with their family members, friendships that have been long standing for long times, because all this irrelevant crap has been pushed and shoved into the cultural zeitgeist for so long. People are fighting back. There's like, if you're going to act like that, fuck off. I don't need you. I got business to attend to. I got kids to take care of. I've got 2 or 3 jobs that I need to go work. And no, in order to keep myself out of trouble, I ain't gonna say shit to you. And then you're gonna call me an asshole because I'm not very talkative. It's the cycle that they just repeat because they are miserable human beings. Now I'm gonna let my diatribe die down right here because I could go way worse, but it's not about that. What it's mostly about is Hollywood, entertainment. Hopefully, gaming industry comes back to it. They were late to the party to like turn things woke, but hopefully they're one of the quickest ones to be like, oh, even Hollywood's doing that. We're going straight back to what we were doing. That's what we want. We want escapism. We want our fun, and we want to be entertained. Oh my gosh, why is that so hard? Trick question. It's not. They make it more difficult than it should be. What do you guys think about this? Until next time, this is Malty from the GCA. Y'all take care. Stay safe.